Hello, welcome back to the Abundant Joy Tarot. This is Ade, and we have a full moon in Virgo on Tuesday, which is today, the 7th. And I have pulled 3 piles, a mix of tarot and oracle cards with the intention of helping us discover what it is that you need to let go during the full moon, and then what energies, what can support you in the process of that letting go, and what might be coming next. Okay, so in looking at the full moon in Virgo, we're going to investigate what do we need to let go. Now, before we do the final pick, so I've already got the whole style, but all the piles, but I'm going to just pull a small moon card for each pile, which will be kind of your final pick to be able to see. So that's going to be for 1. And we're really thinking about how we can release. What do we need to release so that we have space to receive even more? Okay. So looks like that is going to be beautiful. 2, and looks like, oh, that's 3. Okay, so these are going to be our picks for the piles. So this first pile is the rose quartz, and it is this card. Okay. Pile 2 is the clear quartz, and it is this beautiful card. And pile 3 is the yellow Aventurine, and it is this beautiful card. So you will find the timestamps in the description. You can go right to your piles, and we will jump into these full moon readings, looking into what do we need to let go of, what will support us, and what might be coming in. All right, I'll see you there. Okay, hello, pile 1. I'm going to go ahead and move over pile 3 and pile 2 so we can focus on your reading for pile 1. And let's get started. Okay, so if you chose the rose quartz and this moon card, which has got an adventurer here, he is heading out, got the pack on, is ready to go forward. Okay, now we're talking about in this reading, excuse me, what are we letting go in this full moon in Virgo, and what support can we get in the process, and what might be coming in for us? So what do we need to think about letting go? So this is what this pile is starting to look at. So it says, failure is only learning. I move with confidence and resilience. So one thing that I think that you're going to need to be considering letting go is how you respond to failure. Okay? How you respond to failure. So think about that honestly, in terms of each of us responds to it maybe slightly differently. But think about the way that you respond to failure. Does it cause an unnecessary setback for you? Are you able to move forward quickly? Are you able to learn from your failures? Are you able? Does it attack your confidence or resilience in some way? Understand that failures are all a part of our soul journey, and that is something that you may need to look at, letting go of in this new moon, in this full moon, is how you're responding to failure, shifting the way that you're responding to failure. Let's look at the tarot cards in regards to what you may need to let go of during this new moon. And you've got the 10 of Wands reverse. You've got the Knight of Swords. Interesting. And the 7 of Pentacles. Okay. So it's interesting because we've got this first theme of looking at failure, right? I feel like some other things that you're going to need to let go of during this full moon, based on these cards, is the Ten of Wands is really talking about when things are you're overburdened, you have so many obligations and you're trying to juggle everything and you're just frankly exhausted, you're just carrying so much. And this is reversed here too, so it also demonstrates when someone is maybe not asking for help, okay, feeling like they need to do it all on their own. And so that, in regards to our question of what do you need to let go of, you may need to consider how you actually get your work done. How do you move about your day in your daily life? Are you trying to do it all on your own? Are you trying to be a superwoman or superman and complete everything without asking for help, without communicating to anyone, anything like that, and just trying to push through? Because that's what this Knight of Swords is also saying, is that there's a very fast energy about you, and you may really need to think about how that's being accomplished. The Knight of Swords is not a bad card. It's just that one thing about the Knight of Swords is that the Knight of Swords is moving so quickly that sometimes it's like being single visioned, single focused, and blindsided, as they say, like, because not really looking on either side, but just looking straight ahead. And so therefore, sometimes the Knight of Swords can come across as cold, can sometimes trample over anything and everything that's in the way of them getting to their purpose, okay? So sometimes that's a behavior and that you really need to look at and possibly let go. So if that resonates with any of you, then this it's kind of what I'm seeing for this pile number one in terms of what you needed to let go of. It's almost like there's some overwork here that needs to be let go of. There's some moving so quickly that you're not taking time to either pay attention to the others around you or pay attention to some of the details that you need to look at within the process, okay? And then finally, you've got the Seven of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles sort of has this energy of, I've been working really hard, but I'm not seeing the harvest. And there's an impatience. There's almost a lethargy, or like a apathy. That's what I was looking for. A bit of apathy around it. It's like, I've been working so hard. I'm tired of working so hard. I want to see the harvest, right? And so there's a need to really look at your level of determination and perseverance. So even though the Knight of Swords is going in with this vigor and this sense of determination, he's moving at a speed that's so fast that sometimes he's blindsided. And here, where you're working well and you're doing the work, but there's still this sense of not wanting to push forward, okay? So these are energies that you may want to consider letting go of in the new moon, is what the cards are saying, okay? And this really feels kind of associated with work, but it can also, these same traits can get played out in the rest of your relationships in your life, okay? So how are you actually carrying your burdens? Are you asking for help? Are you communicating that you need help? Are you trying to do it all on your own? Are you moving so swiftly that you're not seeing all of the pieces? And are you losing faith in something before the harvest can come in? Okay, so that's what I'm seeing here. Now we're starting to ask, what is the new moon? What is the full moon energy that is over it for you? Oh, look at that. So we've got communication is key. And this card, this new moon in Gemini, is really talking about, now we're going into a full moon in Virgo, but this card is for this pile, for pile number one. And I think it's exactly right in terms of thinking about what you need to let go of, what you need to actually embrace is communicating to your loved ones, communicating to partners around you. Sorry, I need to drink some water real fast. And all kinds of communication, not just your digital communication, but also face-to-face communication and actually picking up the phone and communicating. Okay, all of that is something that you need to embrace. All right. And then I asked what energies might be around you to support you with this process of letting go. Okay. And you've got the dog spirit. Be loyal to what you love. And so what we really are seeing here, and isn't he a cutie? Okay. So what we get here is a sense of loyalty, thinking about, dogs are so loyal and so loving, and they're very, they don't necessarily speak, although I did feel like the dog that I had could communicate with me, although she did not speak. But but they are very affectionate and loving with the people around them. And I feel like in relation to some of the other energies that you have here, that one of the things that's really going to support you with being able to let go of some of these tendencies of being overburdened, moving too quickly, or kind of losing your perseverance, is leaning on the people that you love. Like leaning into the people that you love so that you can continue to build your communication up, and that you can continue to build up your confidence, so that your confidence is not, sometimes confidence can be what they call an overused skill. And that's when it's like gone past the point of, where we want it to be. You want your confidence to be balanced. And overused confidence is going to be the one that's really, really overburdened because they think that they're the only one that can do it. They're over, it's that overkill of that energy, right? And so you want to find the balance in your confidence. And I think that's really what this reading is talking about here. So then I asked what was either coming next, or what might continue to support you in this letting go process. And so we've got the Ace of Wands, and this deck, in this pile, ended up getting 4 cards here because I did ask for 3 for most. The Wheel, nice, okay. The Knight of Swords again, but interesting how different, very different energy, okay. And then the Queen of Wands, okay, wonderful. Okay, so I really feel like this is talking about what is coming in for you. And the Ace of Wands is such a lovely card because it's really talking about this burst, like you can see it. It's like literally like a burst of creativity, a burst of passion, sort of leaning into, those things that ignite the fire within your mind and your heart and your soul. That is what the Ace of Wands. It's a new beginning. It's a fresh start, but it's just infused with all of this wonderful energy. And then you've got the Wheel, and the Wheel is talking about, the fates turning in your direction, right? Serendipity. There is good and bad, but it's really when the wheel comes up, it is the wheel of fortune, actually. And it is supposed to be sort of speaking on the fates moving in your direction. Then you've got the Knight of Swords again. But what's really interesting about this one to me is that this card really focuses on his speed and his moving toward his goal, and with a guide. Okay, so he's definitely got like a spirit guide there. So he's moving forward, but he's moving forward with a sense of purpose and also with guidance and support. Okay, and that is going to be a different energy than the overconfident Knight of Swords that's moving fast and cold. Even the energy of these two are slightly different. Okay, so it's very interesting to see the difference there. And then you've got the Queen of Wands, which is just a beautiful energy. And here she's clearly manifesting nothing with her wand into her hand. She's just manifesting whatever she wants out of a complete nothingness, right? And so this is really saying that if you're able to let go of some of these tendencies of, overburden, not asking for help, not communicating in the way that you need to communicate, moving in a way that's so fast, giving up before you can actually get to the harvest, you are going to be bringing in all of this energy. The wheel is going to be turning in your direction of fate. Your creativity is going to burst open. And the Queen of Wands is also just an even more elevated energy of this creative passion fire around her, and the ability to manifest whatever it is that you need. So there's a lot of benefit to letting go what you some of these tendencies within the full moon. So I encourage you to really make an effort to really take an honest look at yourself and how you're maneuvering within either your work, within your work, and also within your relationships around you to see if by letting go of some of these behaviors, you can embrace some of this fire coming in, okay? And then your final two oracle cards, wonderful. You've got the Phoenix, transmutation, and choices. Yeah, I really believe if you're able to let go of some of these things, you're going to have the opportunity to really thrive and bring some of these things into fruition for you. Okay. So the phoenix rising from the ashes, rising from the ashes actually is talking about just a big change coming into your life. I mean, this is just so gorgeous. Look how beautiful that phoenix is. And it's totally a message about letting go, like letting go of those behaviors that are hindering you, that are no longer serving you. Oftentimes we picked up these behaviors like, feeling like we have to get the work done out of a need to survive or do whatever it is that we need to do. But at some point we have to let go of the ones that are no longer serving us or are in fact harming us so that we can embrace the new changes and transform into who we need to be on our soul journey at this time. Okay. So that is definitely saying that new beginnings, beautiful. It's telling you to hang in there because the best is yet to come. Okay. And then your final oracle card is choices. This is so gorgeous. And it is really speaking about, making choices with your heart. That's what this card is. The gist of this card is really about, that it's time to make a decision. And it's time to make a decision that is based on what is driving your heart. If you are making your decisions driven on outer external influences, then that is not going to be the direction that you need to move on your soul journey in terms of transmuting into that phoenix, right? It has to be your choices are coming from a place in your heart. And that's at all levels of your life. That's in your career. That's in your relationships. That's in your family. It's everywhere. That's the place from which you need to be working and functioning so that you can fully step into your soul journey with joy and abundance. All right. And the affirmation for this card is, I am courageous as I listen to the guidance from my heart. All right. So you have a lot of opportunity, beautiful souls who chose pile number 1, to let go of some behaviors that may no longer be serving you during this full moon in Virgo and embrace it. It's interesting because some of those traits actually are very Virgo-ish traits. But to begin to let go of some of that and release, let other people to come in and support you in your journey. Okay. Lean into others, gain support, be loyal to the things that you love. Follow your heart in your choices, and you will be transformed. I think this is a lovely reading. I thank you so much for joining the Abundant Joy Tarot. This is our day. If you like the readings that you're receiving here, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel so we can continue to grow and reach more and more souls. Thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful full moon and that you get an opportunity to get out there and see it if possible, wherever you are. All right. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to the full moon reading that we're doing here, where we're looking at what we're having a full moon in Virgo today, and we're looking at what would be helpful for us to let go of during this full moon, and what let me just see. Okay, there was something odd happening with the camera there. I think the light might have changed a little bit, but hopefully that is still very clear. Okay, so we're looking at what we're letting go in this full moon, and then we're also looking at what energies are there to kind of support us, and then what might be coming next if we are able to let go of these things. All right, so that's what we're looking at. This is pile number 2, and if you chose to clear quartz, and this card right here, this is your pile. So let's jump right in. Okay, so your card says, this is a beautiful card, by the way. There's so much abundance here, water, and also there may be, You may have a need to let go of some emotions that you're dealing with right now, because there's a lot of water in this space. And it just feels like it's a very emotion filled energy. So in regards to letting things of needing to let go, sometimes in order to let go, we have to let those emotions out. It's not that we're letting the emotions go, because emotions are important, but it's that releasing that is going to be healing for you. But let's see what we've got here. I accept and create more flow and pleasure in my life. Yes, yes. So maybe it's about releasing some of the sadness that you may be holding on to right now. But let's dig in and see what we get. All right. So first, we're going to look at the tarot, some tarot, to see what is it that we need to be looking at letting go. Okay. And you've got the Five of Swords. Okay. So we'll talk about that. You've got the Four of Pentacles. Okay. And the World card. Okay. So the Five of Swords, all fives, as we know, really deal with conflict, right? And so even though this image here looks as though she is the victor, a lot of loss has happened in the interim. And so I feel like in regards to letting go, that this card is bringing up a couple of things for me. One is that you may have been in a conflict with a certain individual, or maybe several individuals, or a conflict at work, or conflict, whatever it might be. And it feels like whatever, like the pain or whatever the struggle, whenever there's a conflict like this, there's always residual feelings, thoughts, emotions that we have around it. And the full moon is an opportunity for you to be able to release, just let those feelings go, because they will not serve you. Any feelings around a conflict are not going to serve you. You need to learn the lesson from it and move on as quickly as possible, because they're not going to be beneficial feelings for you in your mind, body, or spirit. So I feel like for you in the full moon, it's really looking at where are the areas in your life in which you've been experiencing some conflict, and how can you let go of whatever the outcome was. I mean, even if you're the victor in the situation, it's still a conflict, and it still is something that you're holding on to. And if you are, one of the other people in this scenario who's either had to walk away, or was, damaged in some significant way, or, whatever it may be, that's, those feelings have to be released. And so I feel like that's being asked of you in the full moon. The Four of Pentacles is talking about this energy of holding on to things so tightly, because it really comes from a place of fear in most cases. This is talking about sort of material things. So sort of holding on to your money, making sure that you're, and it really comes from the place of, I'm not sure there's going to be enough, or, just fear, and so it's really asking you to think about. I also think of the Four of Pentacles as sort of having the lack mentality, if you will. So really, being able to, in the full moon, think about letting go of a lack mentality and embracing an abundant mentality, which, the World card is an abundant mentality, right? 100% abundant. Like, sorry guys, need to get some water. So, you've got the World card here too. But the other thing about the World card is that the World card is like a completion. So it makes sense that it's here in that, when we come to a completion of things, so you may be completing something in your life. And that can show up in a lot of different ways. It can be in your career, it can be in relationships. And it doesn't have to be, the World card is a very positive card. It doesn't have to be a negative completion, a negative letting go. It could just be a transition of some kind where there's actually celebration that is needed, right? But even in that, in getting to that place, there are always things that we had to do, or things that were said or not said, that need to be released. So even in the space of celebration, you see, we can still look back at the things that, okay, we don't want to move these things, these feelings, these thoughts, these ideas, these possessions, even into, or these people into into this next chapter, right? So thinking about and considering, what do you want to let go of? Okay. So that's what I'm seeing in regards to your letting go for the full moon. And then, it just brings me back to I accept and create more flow. And a way to bring in more flow is to release the things that are blocking that flow. Okay. Release those obstacles. So let's see what the actual moon card is calling for you. So the moon energy to bring in is to take action. It's time to take action. Okay. So this is new moon in Aries. Now we're going into a full moon in Virgo, and we're looking at what we're letting go, but we're also asking here, what do we need to embrace to help us to let go of these things? And so in regards to trying to let go of, feelings within conflict or an actual conflict itself, that it's sort of calling you to be able to take some action. So in the full moon, it's really like letting those things go, but taking actions around how you're going to do that. With the Four of Pentacles, that's kind of a holding energy, right? So it's about kind of a letting go of that and being able to take action on moving forward, so you can address the underlying fear that there is within the Four of Pentacles of holding on to something or material objects or whatever, or even people, okay? So that's really important to look at here for the full moon. All right. So now we're going to look at what energies might be able to support you in it. And here you've got, okay, so this is the wasp spirit energy. It says, sometimes life stings. Okay. I'm not a big fan of wasps, I'll tell you. They definitely do sting, but this card here is actually speaking to the fact that the wasp, even though it stings, it is an essential part of the entire functioning of the biosphere, right? Like, we need the wasp to help cultivate life and to keep us moving forward. And what this is kind of a metaphor for is to really thinking about your life, that there are things in your life that sting, that don't feel good, that hurt, right? But those hurts are important to your overall soul journey, because you need to learn from those hurts, or, there's something that sometimes the hurts will make you more resilient or more confident or whatever it may be. But those hurts are going to be crucial to your overall soul journey when you are going to enable you to be successful. Okay. So it's, in a sense, it's this card is really saying, embrace the things that sting. Sure, don't hold on to them, but embrace them and understand that when you go through them, that they're actually supporting you in creating new growth in some way, because that's what the wasp spirit does. So let's look at your tarot cards around what might be coming next, or how, what kinds of things might be able to help you in this letting go process. Okay, so you've got the Hermit card. Beautiful. The Nine of Swords, okay, and the Nine of Pentacles. Really interesting. Okay, so what I think I'm really hearing and seeing through the Hermit card is that you're going to need to see if you can find some time and some space for reflection. It's almost like she's at the full moon out there reflecting, speaking with spirit, getting insight, figuring out what do we need to do next in our path, letting go of what we need to let go into this ocean over here, and being able to move forward on the journey and the path and lighter. She's actually elevated, right? Now, you can only be elevated like that when you are able to let go of the things that are holding you down. All right. So she's actually elevated. And so I feel like this is an energy that you need to embrace to be able to support you during this full moon. Okay. Some of you have been going through a lot of struggle and anxiety, maybe keeping you up at night and things like that. That's what the Nine of Swords talks about. It talks about a lot of mental anguish. Okay, really deep mental anguish, unable to kind of stop these thoughts or stop the anxiety really from just sort of taking over your mind. Like she can't even lay down and rest. All right. And so what's really beautiful to me about this card, however, is that there's a white bird here, and it's almost like in moving to the Nine of Pentacles, which is a beautiful, abundant card that is all about sort of self confidence and self reliance, because you've gotten to this Nine of Pentacles by really persevering. And the Nine of Pentacles is all about abundance at all levels, okay? And an inner self confidence. You know, she has like an inner glow, an inner glow. But what I was going to say that's really interesting about this is that in this picture of the Nine of Wands, she's got all of these black birds in here sort of tormenting her with their thoughts and everything. And then there's this spirit bird that's right there, like the white bird is right in there. And it's almost as if she stood up and just said, whoosh, like, get all the blackbirds away, and became the Nine of Pentacles and reached up, and the white bird came and landed on one of her pentacles. It's just a beautiful kind of thought process of like, we can move from this space of anguish, anxiety, unable to sleep, sorrow, grief, loss, to this place of just gorgeous, rich, growing abundance. You know, there's just, this is such a fertile image, so much growth, so much self-love, so much light, and her face is literally glowing. Okay, this is where we want to go, and you can go there by letting go of some of these things that are pulling you down and holding you down, letting go of the conflict, okay, letting go of that need to hoard and hold on to things, which is actually something that we do as a result of trying to protect ourselves in some way or out of fear, okay? And the final two cards that we have for your oracle cards, you've got Truth. Wow, and there we are with this bird. We got a lot of bird imagery here, and then Transformation. Perfect. So we're going to be letting go. So this Truth Spirit, I really want to speak on that Truth Spirit because it's such a beautiful, beautiful card. And the Truth Spirit really talks about living in your truth, being in your truth, walking in your truth. It is, you know, she's so gorgeous. It's just such a beautiful card. It's kind of, she sort of has the same energy as that Nine of Pentacles, right? That same energy. And the Raven Spirit is what we're talking here. And the Raven Spirit is the soul loves the truth. Find your truth. Speak your truth. Live your truth. Be fearless in your journey. Follow your inner guidance. Let go of what is not authentic and sincere in your life. It may have been authentic and sincere in the past, y'all, but it's not anymore. So it's time to let it go, okay? And be a shining example of truth for others. This is just such a gorgeous, vibrant card, okay? And then your final card is Transformation. And it's almost like there is a human butterfly in here, like literally coming out of the cocoon, stepping into her wings. Transformation. That's what this is all about. When you are letting something go, you're making way for the new to come in and allowing yourself to fully transform. Okay? This is something that you wished for, okay? You actually wished for it. It may not feel like it, but you hungered for greater understanding, greater clarity, and greater and stronger connections to the mystery of the divine, okay? And just as the caterpillar has its day, it has experienced all it needs to experience, and now it's time for it to come to be the butterfly and emerge. So the beauty that you bring into this world with your unique colors and your unique flight will be so inspiring. So, but you've got to let go of the things that are holding you down so that you can fly, you all. So have no fear or concern. You're embarking on a remarkable journey that will invoke and touch your soul. That is a wonderful card. So I think for your full moon energy, what I'm really getting here is that you need to let go, you know, and we talked about what are we letting go? We're letting go of the emotions and the excess baggage that we've been carrying around conflict or a conflict itself and or a conflict in itself. Release baggage from old conflicts and release a new conflict. Okay. You want to let go of that Four of Pentacles energies of holding and hoarding things too closely. You want to let go of any struggles that you had to get to your ending of some kind that you're dealing with. All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Take some time to support yourself for reflection. You may even journal during this full moon. What can you let go of? What can you move out of your space so that you can be lighter and elevate? Okay. Release your anxieties so that you can step into this beautiful Nine of Pentacle energies, which is common for you all, with the abundance, all of its abundance and joy and grace and clarity. I love it. I love it for you. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Thank you for joining the Abundant Joy Tarot. This is our day. If you're liking the readings that you get, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that we can continue to grow the community. I really appreciate every single one of you. I hope you have a beautiful full moon and get out there and see it for a moment if you can. And I will see you in your next reading. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. If you've chosen the yellow Aventurine and this card, this is your reading. And again, we're looking at the full moon in Virgo that we have right now, but specifically, I asked the question as I was pulling the cards and talking to Spirit. What do you need to let go of in this full moon? And then I asked about what energies might be there to support you and what might be coming next. Okay, so it's sort of laid out in that way. And we've got some tarot cards and some oracle cards to dig into it a bit. And so this is what you have chosen for your pile and pile number 3. So let's take a look at it. So this first card, she has a sense of power. Like I really sense that when I see this card, I always think of sort of this way of power, like the Pied Piper, right? The Pied Piper is kind of getting people to follow along, and with the magic of the moon in the background there. So let's see here. We've got, I can guide and lead others wisely and with love. I can guide and lead others wisely and with love. Interesting. Okay, so some of you may be leaders of some kind in whatever industry, okay? Or you can also be leaders of your family in certain ways. And it's interesting because we're asking, what do we need to let go of for the full moon? But I feel like these first cards really for all the readings have sort of been setting kind of the theme of the reading. And I'm really getting the sense of power, right? That there's something about how you're leading, how you move things forward, how you leverage your power, that you may need to look at letting go of or transforming, okay? Maybe is a better way of doing it, looking at it. But sometimes there can be aspects of power or the ways that we lead that are not serving us or serving others. Let's see what the reading says, but that's what I'm picking up here, that this is about, it says, I can guide and lead others wisely and with love. Okay. So maybe shifting how it is that you're currently leading. So I would definitely want you to ask yourself the question. Oftentimes I do like journaling and things like that during the full moon, just to, kind of get out, what do I want to let go of? And you may really want to consider all of the ways that you have used, leverage, experience, power in your life right now. And are you leading in the way in all areas of your life that you actually want to be leading? Okay. All right. I thought that the camera had stopped there for a moment. Okay. So let's look at your tarot. Okay, and you've got, okay, the Nine of Swords, King of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles. And so these cards were really kind of laying out, what do we need to let go of? What do we need to release in the in the full moon? So obviously with the Nine of Swords, the Nine of Swords energy is just all about anguish. It's like mental turmoil. It's like, staying up at night, not being able to dream, but it's really just kind of, not just having bad dreams or, it's really because the swords represent sort of our thoughts and ideas. It's the air, the swords represent air. So it's really thinking about, it's like overthinking something to the point of, torment, like and paralysis, right? And just being really tortured by it. And so obviously this is something that we want to let go of. But what the thing is about the Nine of Swords is that you've got to understand what is the root. What is it that's causing all of that mental anguish? That's what you need to let go of, right? That's what you need to let go of. And you also need to release how you're responding to that thing, right? Because that's causing the anxiety. I am so sorry, pile number 3, that you are experiencing this kind of pain and struggle and frustration. And I really hope that as we approach this full moon, that you use its powerful energy to be able to release this. Release this. Now, the King of Pentacles is generally a very positive card. But it's interesting to me that we were talking about power. And the King of Pentacles is like it is very powerful, very abundant. He's typically seen as more of a gentle leader, one who has everything that he needs, a generous leader. So one is kind of stable and firm. And so I feel like there is, to me, what I'm hearing is that this has to do with what I was actually speaking about earlier, in you thinking about how it is that you're currently leading, because the King of Pentacles, I experience this energy is as guiding and leading others wisely and with love. But it may be that there's a way in which you're leading in which you're not embodying this type of energy. Okay. Again, what I talked about in some of the other readings too is this sense of an overused skill. So sometimes a skill can be a very positive skill. So for instance, if you're generous, right? That's a positive attribute of, if you want to be generous, people should be generous. But anything that is positive can also be an overused skill. So if you're generous to the point where you are giving of yourself, that you have nothing of yourself, you would literally give your hand, right? And so then you no longer have your hand. Then your generosity has gone from being a beautiful ability, a beautiful skill, to an overused skill, right? And so I feel like there may be a way in which you beautiful souls who chose pile number 3 are perhaps using your ability, your skill to lead, and it's become an overused skill. So it's somehow causing detriment to yourself, okay? Which in turn will cause detriment to the people around you. First, your immediate people around you, your family, your close loved ones, etc., etc. And then also, if you are a leader, it will ultimately affect your business or the people that you're trying to lead in some way, because you can't lead from a space where you are hurting yourself, whether that be mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever it might be, right? We know leaders that do that, but the leaders that are sustainable, that are having the biggest impact on other individuals, cannot function at this level. So that's just something to be cognizant of, okay? And then we've got this Ace of Pentacles, and I also feel like this is another opportunity where it could be an overused skill, because the Ace of Pentacles is actually talking about new ideas, new beginnings, great event, uh, new adventures to be able to come into the picture. And that's not necessarily a bad thing at all. But there may be a sense of, you may be at a space, because there's so much anxiety here and so much worry and pain. I almost feel like you might be at a space where perhaps there's too much going on. You're juggling too many ideas, too many beginnings, too many tasks. Manifesting power is also a part of the Ace of Pentacles. So again, we're at this question of power. How are you using your power? Are you using your power effectively? I really feel like that is the question for this pile. Okay, so let's look a little further into this, but that's what I'm really feeling like as you look at releasing for the full moon, that you need to perhaps do some journaling and doing some thinking about what is your relationship to power and to leading at this point in time. What aspect of that would you like to let go of so that you can bring the more fertile, powerful, abundant aspects of power into your present? Okay. And so your moon card, which is going to be kind of telling you what can help you, is to work through your fears. So sometimes also, and this happens often when you are leading, when you have an underlying fear that you're not really conscious of, it can come out through your leadership by overcompensating for it. So if you're worried about money in some way, you can become overly tight with the expenses and things like that within your business or within the people that you're working with or even within your family. Okay. And so it's really about making sure that you have worked through your fears. So, and this is the card for new moon in Scorpio. Of course, we are going into a full moon in Virgo, but this is the energy that you may need to work with at this time to help you with this letting go. And this type of energy, the Nine of Swords energy, also comes from fear. So being able to really face those fears and work through it is going to be beneficial to your overall being, pile 3. Now, the energy that is also walking with you and working with you is the wolf spirit. And again, gosh, the wolf spirit is really talking about power, because it says turn knowledge into wisdom. Okay. And the wolf spirit really speaks about how it is that you're actually leveraging your power. Okay. It says that you're being told, the wolf spirit, when it appears, it says that you're being told not to pretend you know something when you don't. And boy, isn't that something that we can do if we're in a leadership role, because we feel like we're supposed to know everything. We're supposed to have everything. We're supposed to be clear about everything. And so when we don't know, at times we don't want to say we don't know. But I'm telling you, the strongest leaders are the ones that can say, I don't really know what that is, and instead they're able to actually get the help they need to be able to manifest the work that they need to do, rather than just trying to pretend that they have the information and ultimately they don't have it. So therefore, whatever needs to be resolved cannot be resolved. Okay. And so the wolf spirit is really asking you to really think about that you won't impress anyone with a little bit of knowledge. In fact, you rob yourself of a true experience and education if you tell yourself you are done learning or you don't have to know something. Be open, be humble, be teachable, and the world will open itself up to you like magic. So many of us feel like we get into a space of leading in whatever capacity it might be in your life. Okay. So it could be in business, family, could be in friends, it could be in anything, creative project, whatever it might be. But oftentimes when we get that role, like, it's amazing what happens to the human psyche when all of a sudden we've got a leadership role. It's like we have to behave in a certain way when we still need to remain curious. We still need to remain humble. We still need to remain teachable. Even if we are the leader of the the whole company, the whole country, for God's sake. We definitely need to remain teachable, right? So that we can be able to learn and continue to use that in our leadership. Okay. That being said, I'm going on a little bit of a tangent there, but let's look at what energies may be able to help you through the tarot here. So this was asking about what do we need to help be able to let go of some of these energies that we're dealing with here. This Nine of Swords and this idea of power, how we're looking at power. Okay, so you've got the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Interesting. Okay, so you may also be in a partnership right now, because these two energies, are in connection with one another. And I feel like the thing about the King and Queen of Swords is that they are leaders with very clear, rational thought. Okay, they kind of cut through any of the bull, if you will, and kind of cut straight to the point. They look at things with facts and the truth of things. They dig into that, and that is what helps them to become abundant. All right. Let's see what the circle. Okay, and the Two of Wands. Okay, very interesting. So the king and Queen of Swords, both of them have very similar energies in this idea of being able to resolve conflict or plan for things with this energy of sort of rational and strong intellect, right? Strong intellect. So it's asking you to lean into that. The Queen of Swords is a thought leader. I'm hoping you can still see that. She makes decisions in an unbiased way, okay? She's honest and has a lot of integrity. She can also be very perceptive, but she uses her intelligence and can be very direct when seeking the truth, okay? And that is a beautiful energy for you to think about embracing, particularly because I'm wondering if perhaps the King of Pentacles is an overused skill for you. So maybe you are being too generous, if you will, with your power, or with your how you're moving in your power space, right? Because it's affecting you so strongly. If you can perhaps get to a place where you can take some of the emotion out, and this is not typically my guidance, so this is definitely coming through spirit, but to lean on your intelligence, your logic, allow you to get clear thinking, to pull away from some of the chaos, okay? But just to look at things in a very clear way and to have courage and bravery to lead. But again, you can go back and you can lead others wisely and with love. All right, now it's interesting because I feel like you all, as you look at how you're dealing with power, you may really need to make some changes, right? Because the thing about the Two of Wands is there's sort of a decision that's being made here. Notice she's looking out and the world is there. Okay. And then there's also this little van here of like, okay, where are we going next? There's this real sense of travel. Okay. And this Two of Wands is about planning your future. It's about activating something in you. Okay. Possibilities, the choice between your comfort zone and new adventures. So I feel like by letting go of the way that you're needing to lead right now in a certain way, you're going to free yourself out to follow the adventure of your heart. All right. And that is what is really being asked for and called for here. And one way that you're going to be able to get to the adventures of your heart, very interestingly enough, is by leaning a little bit more on your intellect, your intelligent, and your rational thought. Okay. To make the decisions that you need to make so that you can clear the way for you to be able to jump into new adventures that are going to inspire, ignite, and fire up your heart. This is what we need to do. And this full moon can help you to do this by letting go of any preconceived notions that you have about what power needs to look like, what leading others needs to look like, so that you can free up your space, your energy, your capacity to really step into what is new for you coming onto the rising, which is really, really exciting. Okay, it's really, really exciting. So I encourage you to embrace it. Now let's see what your final two oracle cards are. Wow. Yes. Yes. There is a new chapter. Oh, that is really, really exciting. Purification. I love that. Wow. Wow. So this card here is it's kind of like a rising from the phoenix. We seem to have gotten that in some capacity in all of these. But this one, look how gorgeous is that? It's a purification and moving into such a light, powerful, abundant energy. I mean, she is vibrant. But it really is, so the spirit of the pine, this is the pine spirit. He's saying, let go of the old, discarded, and unused. Purify and cleanse. Clutter free your home, your body, and your life. Release whatever doesn't serve or support you. Take time for a total purification. You'll feel brighter and also be a clearer channel for light. And as a leader, you need to be a clear channel of light. All right? That's gorgeous. And then your final card is a new chapter coming from the cosmos. I love it. This is saying you are being nudged to move forward. Take the next step. A new adventure awaits. Look at that. Look at that doorway. That is gorgeous. Interchange and transformation has been occurring within you. Your soul is now yearning to take that next step, a leap of faith into the unknown. A new chapter waits with new opportunities and adventure. Your heart has been nudging you forward for some time now, but the cautious mind has kept you at bay. Don't let fears of the unknown, what did that say? Face your fears. Do not let fears of the unknown stop your growth. More than anything, your soul longs to grow and evolve. Staying where you are does not give you room to soar to new heights of spiritual awareness and full consciousness. Whew, that is beautiful. Breathe deep and release all fears, doubts, and concerns. Follow your heart. Listen to your intuition and guidance. Believe in yourself. Oh, y'all, you got to trust yourself. You got to trust yourself. I feel like this pile is already leaders, but there's a way in which you need to look at your leadership so that you can begin to release what's no longer serving you. Release any ideas of what you may have about what that looks like so you can embrace something new. I think it's going to be really exciting for you. I'm really, really excited for you. And I hope that you are able to enjoy this full moon that's coming in Virgo and have an opportunity to perhaps do some journaling or just be able to consciously think about what you can let go so that you can step fully into this new chapter. This is a lovely reading. I know we kind of got bunched up here, but this is a lovely reading. We really want you to let go of that anxiety. We want you to look at the power and how that is. We want you to look at your fears and begin to face your fears and release them so that you can be the strong, powerful light leader that you need to be. Thank you. There was a beautiful reading. Thank you for joining the Abundant Joy Tarot. I am Ade, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next reading. If you're enjoying the readings that I'm having here, can you please like, share, or subscribe to the channel? I'd love to have you join the family so I can have more and more in the community and have more and more souls to be able to connect with. So I appreciate you, and I will see you next time. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.